Do you struggle to learn new things? Maybe you find it difficult to get into the right mindset or gather the motivation to even start, knowing that it's going to be a long and frustrating journey. If this sounds familiar, then this video will help. Today we'll explore 10 of the most powerful mind tricks you can use to learn anything fast. With a few simple tweaks to your learning approach, you'll be able to pick up new skills in no time. Now, if you enjoy the content of this video, then please help us out by taking a few seconds to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Alright, let's get started. Number 1. Try using the Feynman Technique. If you're struggling to get your head around a difficult topic, the Feynman Technique is a great learning approach. It was developed by Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman and is based on the idea of breaking down complex topics into smaller, easier-to-understand chunks. To apply the Feynman Technique, you'll need to, number 1, identify the idea or concept that you would like to learn more about, and make a note of everything you already know about it. Number 2, pretend that you have to teach the concept to someone who has no experience or understanding of it. Ideally, the person listening will ask questions that you may not be able to answer, and in doing so, help you to identify where more studying is needed. Number 3, go back to your notes and source information to review the key points where you struggled. When you're feeling more confident in your understanding of the topic, it's time to repeat step 2. You can do this as many times as you feel necessary. Number 4, make sure your explanations are suitable for anyone. If you break down the topic into the simplest of forms without any of the technical jargon or drawn-out theories, you'll have a better understanding of the information and be able to recall it with ease. Now, if you'd like to learn more about this concept, then watch our video about the Feynman Technique. Number 2, get to know your brain's peak hours. Unless you're a morning person, sitting down to study at sunrise probably isn't a good idea. You won't be at your most productive. Instead, it's better to know when your brain is at its maximum performance level. For many people, this will be between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. or between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m., according to a study by PSB Academy. However, your peak times might look different. Many factors will influence how and when your brain performs best, such as age, lifestyle, health conditions, work commitments, sleep patterns, stress. By understanding when your peak hours fall, you can use them to their fullest potential. One way to do this is to keep a diary of your activities and how you felt during those times. And to help you get started, we've included a link in the description box to the best apps and journal for tracking your daily thoughts. Number 3, relate learning to your goals. If you've set aside a couple of hours to study, and yet find you get nothing done, a lack of motivation may be your issue. But don't worry, it's a problem that's easily resolved by planning ahead and setting more realistic goals. One strategy that can help is the SMART Goals technique, which is something we cover in one of our most popular videos. The SMART Goals method stands for specific, what needs to be accomplished and how will you do it? Measurable, how can you track your progress? Achievable, are your goals realistic? Relevant, what part in the bigger picture does this goal play? Time-bound, what's the time frame for this goal and how will you manage it? These 5 elements will help you break down your tasks. They will make your goals more manageable and feel less overwhelming. Be sure to prioritize the important stuff first, leaving those non-essential tasks until later. And learn to say no when people ask you to do things that take you away from your goals. Number 4, make handwritten notes. But when it comes to retaining information, pen and paper are more helpful than your digital devices. The age-old method of writing allows you to process the information more deeply as it engages more parts of your brain than typing does. It also helps with recall, as the physical act of writing is associated with memory formation. Several studies have taken place around this idea, including one at Princeton University and UCLA, where researchers found that people who took notes by hand listened more actively and were better at identifying ideas. Handwritten notes also provide a sense of creativity and personalization that typing can't. They can be organized in a way that makes sense to you, with key information highlighted and additional scribbles added along the way. Number 5, learn to mentally visualize. Visualization is a great tool for learning something new, but it may take a bit of practice. When using this strategy, you create a mental image of the information we are trying to understand, making it easier for us to recall and make sense of. Known as the picture superiority effect, our brains retain imagery information easier than any amount of words, spoken or otherwise. It helps us to build a better, more in-depth memory, as well as make connections between different ideas. By deliberately practicing visualization, the technique becomes an automatic response across many aspects of our lives, including how we learn. Number 6, test yourself. One way to know if your learning techniques are working is to test yourself. You don't need to wait for the official exams or an in-class Q&A. Instead, try taking practice tests, which you can often find online, using flashcards to write questions on and answer in a random order, creating a quiz on your chosen topic and then asking someone to run through it with you, reading a passage, putting it aside, and then writing down everything you remember. Self-testing will help you to assess your own understanding and identify any gaps that you need to further work on. It encourages active recall, a studying method that involves replaying a memory for specific information, and to think about the smaller details you've learned and might otherwise forget. Number 7, saying it out loud. When reading information internally, it's easy to skip words, or even add a few that weren't printed on the page, filling in the gaps with our own version of events. The context of what's written becomes misinterpreted, and the more we read, the more confused we end up. Reading it out loud can help to overcome this problem. When reciting the words, we're more likely to hear the mistakes we're making, and reread the sentence or page to correct it. Additionally, reading out loud creates auditory links within our memory. They form not only a memory of what we said, but also a memory of saying it out loud. This helps us process the information more effectively and recall key points in the future. But not everyone is comfortable with reading out loud. And if this is something you struggle with, you could try using text-to-speech websites such as Natural Readers to overcome the problem. Number 8, pinpoint the distractions. If you've tried these mind tricks and still can't concentrate, it's time to work out why. Whether it's the endless notifications on your phone or the constant chatter of people in the background, distractions can be extremely unhelpful when you're trying to focus. That's why it's important to pinpoint the problems and find ways to minimize them. Put your phone on silent, shut out any outside noise, and tell people that you're going to be busy so they don't disturb you. By taking some simple steps to reduce the chances of any interruptions, you can stay on track, stay productive, and reach your goals. To learn more, watch our video about 7 ways to prevent distractions while studying or working. Number 9, take a power nap. If you're feeling a tad sleepy come mid-afternoon and can't focus, try a quick 15 to 30-minute nap. Many research studies, including one by the University of California, Berkeley, show that catching a few Z's after lunch can actually benefit your brain. It's an effective way to boost your energy levels and refresh your mind, leaving you geared up to take on the challenge of learning something new. But one word of caution: napping for too long can leave you feeling groggy and unable to refocus. No matter how tempting it is to hit the snooze button, you'll need to save that long siesta for another time. Number 10, drinking plenty of water. We all know the benefits of drinking enough water, but it might surprise you to learn that even mild dehydration can have an impact on both your short and long-term memory. Be sure to have a bottle handy on your desk or workspace. Keeping it in plain sight will remind you to keep drinking. We all know this from having an irresistible packet of goodies nearby. By keeping your fluids up, you'll avoid dehydration, which can cause energy-robbing symptoms such as fatigue and tiredness. If you've been struggling to learn something new, be it a skill or a hobby, these simple mind tricks will help get you back on track. So if you'd like to learn more about this topic, then be sure to watch our video about the 5-hour rule for mastering any skill. And if you enjoyed the content of this video, then please help us out by taking a few seconds to hit the like button and then subscribe to our channel.